On this open interest, is it really over, or is it just a quick sell-off like we saw on the Wyckoff schematic? Let's take a look here. Open interest is dropping on XRP. Price declined by 16% between February 23rd and 26th, leading to $79 million in leveraged long futures liquidations. Notably, the correction occurred despite a largely positive regulatory outlook and increasing odds of approval for a spot XRP exchange traded fund ETF in the United States. So what they're saying here is a lot of us out there that are spot XRP holders, you bought it off an exchange, you keep it on an exchange, or you took it off into your wallet and you're holding on to it. That is not why we're having these huge sell-off. They're talking about people who are doing 10x, 20x, 100x leverage trades are getting absolutely liquidated, wiped out, losing all of their money. Those people did actually lose. You know how they say if you're holding your coin, you don't close at a loss unless you actually sell it. You can hold it when it's at a loss, and when it goes back up, you're now in the positive. Well, that doesn't happen when you get liquidated. When you get liquidated, you literally just take all your money out of your account because you made a bad trade. You went the wrong way. At the same time, open interest in XRP futures fell to its lowest level in 2025, indicating that traders have begun unwinding leverage positions. While this shift does not necessarily signal a broader bearish sentiment, it raises concerns about whether XRP's bullish momentum has weakened. But the reality is, it's not necessarily people not putting in new trades. It's the fact that they're getting liquidated. Their stop losses are getting wiped out. So they just haven't opened a new trade yet. They don't feel that this is the bottom. Once they start opening long trades again, then open interest will start to increase. The aggregate open interest in XRP futures dropped to $1.33 billion, marking an 8% decline from the previous week in comparison. Sol open interest fell 4% from the same time period, while the aggregate futures market for Doge remained flat. So as you can see, it did drop to 1.33 billion, and it was all the way up here at 2.33 billion. To determine whether traders are losing interest in XRP, it is essential to analyze the funding rate of perpetual contracts, inverse swaps. This rate charged by exchanges to balance leverage demand turns positive when long buy positions pay to hold, signaling bullish sentiment. Conversely, a negative rate suggests a bearish outlook. So as you can see right here, green, 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 a dip of red, green, 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 red, green, 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 red, green, 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 right? So, and then it was just red, and it was green here. XRP's 8-hour funding rate has remained near zero since December 9th, indicating a balanced leverage demand between bulls and bears. The last brief surge in leverage demand occurred on December 4th, 2024, following a 140% rally in XRP's price in over 2 weeks. Notably, this peak in buying pressure preceded by a sharp 22% correction in less than 3 days. So this was that November rally. We got to a peak here, started selling off, and now we're close to zero. On December 3rd, the funding rate remained below 0.05% per 8-hour period, equivalent to 0.40 per month. This suggests that leverage buyers had already positioned themselves aggressively before the correction. Reduced XRP demand shows uncertainty over spot ETF approval and SEC case resolution. So we're seeing all of these amazing SEC wins for all these other companies, but Ripple still being left in the closet. We need to be released. Current market conditions differ significantly from those in December 2024. XRP's last rally took place between February 12th and February 15th, when its price surged 17% from 241 to 283. However, funding rate data shows no increase in leverage demand. This suggests that either XRP holders became overly optimistic after the strong gains in late 2024 or shifted their focus to other cryptocurrencies. One factor dampening enthusiasm among XRP traders is the ongoing SEC lawsuit. While the SEC has withdrawn cases against Coinbase, OpenSea, Robinhood, Uniswap, Ripple remains the exception. This presents a double-edged sword for XRP when prolonged uncertainty weakens investor conviction, but a surprise positive resolution could trigger a sharp rally. John Reed Stark, the former SEC Office in Internet Enforcement, has previously accused the cryptocurrency industry of spreading myths to make it lack of transparency and accountability. Commented on the demolition of the SEC's crypto enforcement program on X. Using a meme, Stark expressed frustration over recent development. And he said on X, "This is how the SEC dies. The rapid-fire demolition of the SEC crypto enforcement program continues. SEC investigations of Uniswap, OpenSea finally closed. Both firms have received Wells notices under the SEC Cherry Gensler dropping the SEC's Ripple appeal next up for sure. And then it says, so this is how Liberty dies. Earlier today, 6 hours ago, just in $255 million liquidated from the crypto markets again in the past 60 minutes. That was 6 hours ago. Also, just in Oklahoma's government oversight committee passed a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill for the House floor. So we have several governments, several states starting to completely get rid of their idea of a Bitcoin reserve, but Oklahoma's moving forward with it. Congratulations to them. Also, update for all of you guys out there really starting to freak out, wondering if this is it. Is it over? This is an important update here. Bitcoin's Wyckoff pattern suggests that a 100K retest, analyst says the top is not in. A similar setup in 2024 led to a 40% rally. Will history repeat itself? So, as I've said, on the higher time frame still, the monthly and the weekly, very bullish in the markets, in the charts. Obviously, we're having a huge pullback and it's scaring the crap out of everybody. Even the daily charts are now starting to turn to the more bearish side. So we do need a real legit comeback ASAP. But as you can see in the chart here, this is a Wyckoff distribution chart. Price is coming down. It has a spring scenario here, and then it goes back up. It'll come back down and retest it, and then jump across the creek and LPSY. And if you look at the actual chart, it is literally playing out the Wyckoff schematic that you see down here below. So there is hope out there, ladies and gentlemen. So stay positive. Also, just in, Bank of America to launch a USD-pegged crypto stablecoin if lawmakers pass legislation. CEO says, he says it's pretty clear there's going to be a stablecoin, which is going to be fully dollar-backed. It's not different than a bank account. Hey, you know what stablecoin out there is back $1 to dollar to 1 to 1 is RLUSD, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple USD, real USD. Let's roll that out there, Bank of America. Also, in some interesting world news, breaking news, German central bank reported a record $19 billion loss. It's the first in over 40 years. But Germany's not doing so hot. Politically, it's kind of suffering right now. And now monetarily, they're not doing well either. So interesting times ahead in the world. Just in, BlackRock moves millions in crypto to Coinbase. Is it to store or is it to sell? And 3 million Bitcoin are currently sitting at a loss. This is the highest amount at a loss since 2018. And as we talked about a little while ago, US spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded largest ever outflows with $937 million outflows. And that's just Bitcoin. And then remember also we had Ethereum reporting a $50 million outflow as well. So let's check in. So let's take a look at this institutional DeFi. They wrote a giant blog on this. What's live and what's next? So when we take a look at this first part of the article here, what's live on the XRP ledger, expanding institutional DeFi. When you go through this, the XRP ledger is advancing its infrastructure to better serve institutional DeFi needs by improving liquidity, price transparency, and compliance tools. Building on over a decade of core functionalities, recent updates focus on automating and integrating its native decentralized exchange or DEX to support institutions with constant liquidity and minimal slippage. The central limit order book, or CLOB, has long enabled efficient trading and deep liquidity. Alongside this, XRPL's payments feature continues to offer fast, low-cost global transactions supported by tools like payment channels for micropayments, checks for delayed settlements, and escrow for conditional transfers. With over 2.8 billion transactions processed, these enhancements solidify XRPL's position as a mature blockchain for institutional use. Another key feature that's already live is the order book DEX extension, or automated market maker. Unlike typical AMMs, it optimizes trades by choosing the best execution path, liquidity pools, order books in combination, offering better rates. Its continuous auction system reduces impermanent loss, appealing to institutional liquidity providers. The AMM clawback feature allows issuers to reverse transactions under specific conditions, example, fraud or lost excess, meeting regulatory needs while remaining optional and disable by default for issued assets. Not applicable on XRP. Key applications include institutional yield generation, trading tokenized real-world assets like treasuries or real estate, and supporting arbitrage and cross-chain swaps for consistent pricing across DeFi platforms. Also are the decentralized identity DIDs are live as well. The key use cases for these are going to be privacy preserving, KYC and AML compliance. Institutions can verify identity attributes without exposing sensitive personal data. Permission finance access, gate entry to regulated trading venues using on-chain credentials, and institutional onboarding, streamline identity verification and tokenized securities, real-world assets, and lending platforms. And also live are price oracles, which are going to be used for real-world asset valuation, ensuring tokenized assets remain pegged to their real-world counterparts, cross-chain interoperability, providing price feeds for assets moving across different blockchain networks, and institutional grade risk management, enabling more reliable on-chain lending for derivatives. What is coming to the XRP ledger? Expanded compliance features, institutional lending, and programmability. So Ripple X XRPL feature proposal for Q2 is going to be token escrow, account permissions, batch transactions, and permissioned decentralized exchange.